And again, another one bites the dust. How many videos am I going to have to make to tell you, if you don't look like me, but you think because you're not black, it's not going to happen to you? It's going to happen to you. And the irony is your proximity to whiteness is never going to save you, and the call is always going to come from inside the house. Let's not forget that just a week and a half ago, they found a 19-year-old Latino boy hanging outside of a police department in Washington, D.C. We will never like you. We will never accept you. We will use you. We will abuse you. And then we will toss you aside. She's a dead woman walking. If she'll get drunk and get on Instagram on somebody else's page and talk like this, do you imagine what she says within the police department with other officers? So now they're thinking if she'll yap, she'll yap. So we need to worry about that. We'll never protect you. We'll never choose you. And you are not safe with us.
Let me give a hand clap to this white lady. Shout out to this white lady. Because, we tried to tell other groups that same thing. They dismiss us, but I guess they'll take it a lot more coming from a real white woman, right? She said that they will never let you on the team. They will use you, they will abuse you, and toss you to the side. And that's exactly what they have been doing to all you other groups. See, Black Americans is the only one that have been telling you from the beginning, them people don't like you, bro. Them people don't like you at all. We've been telling y'all this because you know why? We know them. We know them like the back of our hand. But you thought that maybe it's just I'm a little light skinned. Maybe they'll laugh at me if I say some anti-black racism or anti-black slurs. I'm on the club. I'm on the team. And then when Trump gets in office, now they want ICE to come ride down on you. The same people you were laughing with, now they're cheering for you to get deported. And then when them same white people that you went buddy up with, now you're coming over here to the FBAs and saying, hey, brother, black and brown, like, You was over there with Connor and them. You were laughing, calling us names, right? You were saying the N-word more than the white person was. Now since he turned on you and cast you to the side, now you want some solidarity? No. That's just not how that's going to work. Because Black America got to respect ourselves. If we come to your rescue, that proves that we're weak, that we can't stand on our own 2 feet for our own community, and that day is done. We're going to stand on 10 toes down for Black America. Period.
I am glad that this message is being delivered by a white person. I am pretty sure that if it was being communicated by a Black American or an African or any person of color, many of y'all would not listen. But she said it straight to your face. No matter how hard you try, you'll never be accepted. They may pretend and use you for their own benefits, like what happened during election, but you will never be seen as one of their own. Once they are done with whatever they wanted to do with you, they will discard you. So more other people have got their own message about this topic. I want you guys to listen to them, and as you are listening, I want you to drop your own opinions about this topic down there in the comment section. If you're enjoying it, please like the video, and this video is only for educational purposes. Let's get into it.
You will never be white. As much as you, a fellow Latino, wants to be in proximity to whiteness, you will never be white. You will never be chosen in that way. As much as you think that you are better than undocumented Latinos because your family came here the right way, or because you're second generation or third generation, or because you either forgot or unaware of the foundation of this country and the fact that immigrants from Europe came here, stole the land from indigenous people, and then literally stole people, and forced them to be slaves, forced them to do labor. So when you think that you want to be in proximity to whiteness because you consider yourself better, think about that. Think about that there is internalized racism in our own community, how there is anti-blackness in our own community, how there is colorism in our own community. Think about those things. Because no human being is better than the other because they think that because they have papers that they are better than another human being. A human being is a human being. So let me remind you that you will never be white.
The Latino community tried to come at us when everything started happening with the ICE raids. And now look, we have Latino people who are trying to fight us in the comments, fight other Black people in the comments for calling out the consistent racism and anti-Blackness within the Latino community on the heels of this Ashley Gonzalez video that has popped up, the sheriff from Houston that went on a racist rant. We saw how y'all played in Jasmine Crockett's face. We saw how these online white leftists acted when Black people were calling out the fact that it was wrong that Mandami's wife, even though I fuck with Mandami, I like Mandami, but his wife had those anti-Black and racist tweets, and how we just need to get over it. I will never forget how y'all acted with us when we said, you know what, we're going to take a rest. And even some other Black creators on this app, some who I really enjoy their social and political commentary. And, you know, some were giving us grace and they understood and they were trying to talk about the nuance and the bigger picture of everything and how we shouldn't rest. I get that. But some of y'all were being very disrespectful. And we have seen time and time again that we were right. That we were right. These people are in the comments of Black creators who are from Texas or from LA or from Arizona, 3 places which I have lived in all 3 places. I live in LA now, and talked about their experience with anti-Blackness and racism from the Latino community. Latino people are in the comments right now telling Black people that they shouldn't say that. Don't generalize us all. But y'all are under the comments of Black people, but not under the comments of the Latino people who are agreeing with Ashley Gonzalez. They're in the comments in the videos that you're commenting under. There are Latino people saying, oh, I agree with her, but you're not going back and forth with them. You're going back and forth with the creator or the other Black people in the comments. You got this poor white trash using Black people for rage bait, talking about Black proms and hood proms. Y'all had a lot to say, a lot of disparaging and mean things to say to the Black community when they said, we're going to rest because y'all are playing in our faces. And continuously, we have seen time and time again that we were right.
You will never be a part of the white community, okay? And let me hold your hand while I say this. You will never be a part of the white community. No matter how whitewashed you are, no matter if you don't speak your native language, no matter if you don't have an accent, no matter if you get your steak medium rare, you will never be part of the white community. I myself am Mexican, my husband is white, and the privilege that comes with that, for him, never for me, for him, everything that he doesn't understand. And I don't understand like Hispanics that are just so openly against their own people. I don't get that. I mean, like my son, I am raising him fully rooted in the fact that he knows he's Mexican and he will never be ashamed of that. A lot of people that support different thoughts that don't align with them and what they look like there's a lot of self-hatred in that. There's a lot of lack of self-acceptance. My sister-in-law is white, my husband is white, we are surrounded by white people all the time, and we will never be part of that community. It's insane to me when people shit on their own culture and their own people. And that's just the reality that we live in today.
Another stupid Latino think he's white and never gonna accept you.
You are not the exception. And you think you're one of them, you fool. Your brown eyes will never be blue. Your brown skin will never be white. They'll use you until they don't need you, and then they'll spit you out. Have you not realized that yet? Malcolm X once said, who taught you to hate yourself? And I echo his consciousness. Who taught you to hate your own kind? This country was built on slavery and genocide of those forgotten. This is why Native Americans are getting detained, because they can't distinguish between us. We are native to this land, and yet they called it virgin lands. We never crossed the border. They created the border crossed us. Uprooted, forcefully transferred, lynched. Oh, wait, you weren't taught that? Isn't that a plus? Indoctrinating you in schools to never question, but to memorize what they wanted you to. And now children in cages exploited and injured at meat factories while you pray in pews. Is that what your Jesus wanted? Is this what you pray for on Sundays? If so, then you're not a real Christian, because Jesus was a person of color and a true socialist. And if you don't believe me, read the Bible. Or are you going to pick which part fits your narrative? This is not about hating others. This is about why you hate yourself, because you reflect what you show in the world. We are the prayers of our abuelas whispered under their breath. We are the tongues you tried to cut. We are the stories you tried to bury. We are the mestizos and mulattos you can't get rid of. How did the hoarders of wealth convince you that it's hard-working people that are the infection? Never forget that we are the heartbeat, and I refuse to continue to be fed white meat. Que viva la revolución.
No matter how much you cape for whiteness, you will never be white. And this is the funny thing about Latinos, because they equate white skin or light skin to being white in America. And for white people in America, it doesn't work like that.
Spanish. You all right? Oh, good. We don't need an interpreter for this one. Quiero darle las gracias. I think I'm a good interpreter. You'll find out in a second. But
you see how excited he was to show off his Spanish? Like he's adding something culturally to the table and almost saying like, you know, look, we can do two things at the same time. And this is the response he got from Pete Hegseth.
Mr. President, I only speak American.
That's that good old racism I enjoy. Mr. President, I only speak American. Meaning that what he's speaking and who he is not American. That's what that is insinuating. For those of you who can't, you know, connect the dots.
Us as Latinos, I've noticed that we're willing to accept white people in our family, but not black people. Most of the time, we prefer white people over black people. Really, any other nation more than a black person. What I mean is, a mother's daughter has a white boyfriend. They would happily welcome him more than if she had a black boyfriend. Most of the time, there's a stereotype within the Hispanic household about black people, right? That they're criminals, they're gang members, they're violent, they're someone you should fear. When really, we should look at white people that way, because white people are the ones who actually are harming us right now. Yes, they're Hispanics who are in those ICE trucks, ICE vans, but they have been put in place by the oppressor. The same people who descend from the people who took your land, put your forefathers in slave ships, stole your identity, gave you the terms Latino, Hispanic. The people who descend from those people, they're oppressing you today. And their forefathers oppressed your forefathers back in the day. So what is my point? We need to deny any nation but our own. As Black, Latinos, and Natives, we are the same people. We should unite, we should come together, and we should marry one another. If your daughter wants to get with a so-called African American, of course, you want to make sure that he's a good fit. You should allow that. If your son wants to get with an African American sister, make sure she is fit and allow that. And same thing for so-called black people. Same thing for your daughters and your sons who want to get with natives or so-called Hispanic. You should allow that, because that's going to make us unite. That's going to make us stronger. And people might say, well, black people hate Hispanics. Hispanics hate black people. Listen, the reason why we are hurting each other is because we're oppressed by the same person who's causing stress, who's causing chaos, who's causing poverty in our lives. And when we are going through stress and anger, we get violent. And who are we going to get violent with? The people who live among us. We live amongst each other. You understand? But the people who we should really be upset with, and who we should point the finger at, is our oppressor. And we should never point the finger at each other. We should come together, resolve our problems, get over grudges, get over division amongst each other, and really come together as a community.
Somebody has to say this, so I'm gonna go ahead and piss off the right people today, okay? Immigrants, let me talk to you like somebody who actually cares about you surviving in this country with your dignity intact. When you come to America, do not climb in bed with white supremacy. Don't let this country whisper in your ear that black Americans are the people that you shouldn't trust. That is the oldest lie in the playbook. They hand that lie out at the airport with a complimentary mint. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. Nobody knows America like black Americans. Nobody. We got a PhD, an honorary doctorate, and a lifetime membership to this country is racist as hell university. Black folks know the curriculum front to back. Cause if you don't know it, America has two kinds of racists. Now you got the loud and proud ones who walk around like a broken fire alarm. Then you got the covert ones, the sneaky ones, the ones who slither around like a snake in church shoes. Smile in your face while they sabotage your job application or promotion. Simply because you're not white. And here's where some immigrants mess up. Y'all come here to America and you assimilate instead of integrating. You bleach your culture, your language, your food, your customs. You think if you become white adjacent, they're going to pull you into the VIP section of whiteness, but that's not going to happen. Because see, that club has a velvet rope and your name is not on the list. You're still brown. You're still non-white. So whether you're Indian, and that's from India, Somalia, Chinese, Korean, Egyptian, Filipino, Caribbean, Latino, all of it. They don't care what country you came from. They only care about the color. Now see, if you're smart when you come here, you'll integrate. You'll keep your culture. You keep your identity. You'll stand with the people that actually know how the system works. And yes, you should be working to shut down racism because it doesn't help anybody. But instead, you help it stay alive because you think that close proximity to whiteness is somehow going to save you. It's not. I need you to stop thinking that assimilation is a safety deposit box. Not in America. It's not saving you from racism. You can speak English without an accent and people will still treat you like you stole something. And while you're over here capping for the system, let me remind you of something. Guess who ain't getting deported? My black American ass.
Some people aren't becoming white. They're trying to survive a system that told them that black is on the bottom, and that choice is breaking alliances that were never supposed to break. Let's talk about something that's very uncomfortable. There's a growing number of Latinos in America claiming white identity, not just culturally, but politically. Now, on the surface, it looks like assimilation, but underneath, it's something much deeper. It's fear. Historically, colonial systems taught one brutal lesson. The closer you are to whiteness, the safer you are. That didn't disappear, it evolved. So now you have people who are mixed, indigenous, African, and European, trying to distance themselves from blackness to climb a social ladder that was never built for them in the first place. That's not what you call power, that is survival behavior. But here's where it turns into damage, because once you start identifying with proximity to power, you also start to defend that power, even when it harms people who look like you. That's where the tension comes in with black Americans, because the same civil rights fights that open doors for black people also open those same goddamn doors for Latinos. Voting rights, workplace protections, education access, that wasn't separate, that was a shared struggle. But today, some people are being pulled into a different mindset. If I separate myself from blackness, maybe I won't be treated like them. And that's the psychological trap. Because systems don't reward you for proximity forever. They use you until they don't. And we've seen this before. Groups get accepted temporarily, then pushed right back whenever it's politically convenient. So what looks like alignment right now is actually a fragile position built on fear and identity insecurity. You cannot outrun the system by becoming closer to it. You can either change it or it eventually turns on you too.
Every time I see a brown Hispanic in the United States, whether they be an actual immigrant themselves, children of immigrants, grandchildren of immigrants, but they are visibly a brown Hispanic person trying to make the same argument as MAGA white people and the capitalists of the world and this country, I just can't help but just think that they just want to be white so bad. Am I racist for this? Because every single thing that they are saying is a good thing literally disenfranchises them or their parents or their family members who might be in instances where they just happen to be brown while walking next to an ICE agent, and then they find themselves in El Salvador in doing slave labor. Like, everything that they're saying, these are the internment camps, bro. Like, who are you trying to impress here? And I don't know if they're saying that to me because I'm white and they think this is what I want to hear. But this is not what I want to hear. Like, I want to hear about how the pueblo needs to be protected, bro. What the fuck what do you mean that if someone is brown, ICE agents are allowed to ask for their papers? What? No, that's not how this is. That's not how this country was supposed to be ran. What are you talking about? It drives me crazy. It's like, you will never be accepted by the people that you are trying to defend. Like, you are being tricked, my brother. You are being tricked.
You know that picture of the Mexican guy looking into a mirror and his reflection is a white man? I actually met someone once who genuinely thought he was a white man. And I mean literally thought he was a white man. Not his politics, not who he voted for, skin color. And I want to tell you, this man looked so fucking Mexican. And I say that as a Mexican. Like, he looked straight from Mexico. And we had been seeing each other for some time, and one time we talked about ICE and he was like, I'll protect you, don't worry. And in my head I was like, how? Like, you're not white passing. And then one day I saw him repost a reel where it was just like me putting myself in front of the Latina baddies to protect them when ICE comes in. I was like, bro, you're like maybe one shade lighter than me. His hair was like one shade lighter than mine. And I was like, how are you gonna protect the Latina baddies when you yourself look so fucking... They would come after you first before the Latina.
It is very clear to anyone that understands white supremacy and racism in the United States that anti-black racism is the foundation of all other isms in American society. And without the civil rights movement, all other groups besides Black Americans would have no rights in the United States. The United States did not even start to allow immigration of Black and brown people into this country until after many of the civil rights laws were passed. That's a fact. You can go look it up. Google is your friend. So it pains me to hear and see, and I've experienced a lot of this myself, Black and brown immigrants coming into the United States and engaging with corporate workplaces and aligning themselves with whiteness and against Black Americans in workplaces. And I understand where a lot of it comes from. I mean, most of these countries, continents, Asia, Southeast Asia particularly, but all of Asia, and Africa as well, were colonized. So while your ancestors may not have been enslaved physically, some of y'all, your minds were colonized and your countries were colonized. And some of them continue to be controlled by European countries from a financial perspective and socially. And so there's this desire for proximity with whiteness that has been taught over centuries to people from India, China, even though China was never colonized, but Chinese Americans come to the, Chinese immigrants come to the United States, and we see a lot of this as well in that population, and African immigrants and Caribbean immigrants. And I speak of this as a person who was raised by West Indian parents. I'm a first generation American. I was born in the United States, and I consider myself to be blackity black, as I tell people all the time. That's how I feel. I don't call myself West Indian American, a Caribbean American. I'm Black American. But I have interacted with many other people from the Caribbean diaspora who do everything they can to try to say that they're not Black like Black Americans, and I'm Caribbean American, and I'm this American. No, you're Black. And I want to say very clearly to you, all of you, that white proximity will not save you. They don't consider you to be equal to them any more than they consider Black Americans, and they don't like you better. And so actively and intentionally seeking proximity to whiteness may harm your Black American brothers and sisters, but it's not going to save you at the end of the day. And so I really want to speak to those of you who feel that you're superior in some way to Black Americans and come to the United States and look down on Black Americans, come into workplaces, and when you receive promotions and positions of authority, actively oppress Black Americans. Stop it. Cut it out. Because eventually, as the late great Paul Mooney said, every Black person in America, Black or brown, you're going to get your wake-up call eventually. All of us have had to have it. No matter how far up the pool we went and how high up we think we are, we all get the wake-up call eventually. And it's painful whenever it comes. It's especially painful when you didn't expect it because you thought that you were somehow different or better. You're not. All of us as Black and brown people are not treated or considered on par. And I don't care whether you think you are model immigrant or whatever it is. I don't care how many degrees you have, what university you went to. You're not better. And ultimately, you'll learn that you're not better. But it is not okay to inflict oppression on other people that look like you because you think that you're better than them somehow. And because you think that your white counterparts tell you that you're articulate and you speak well and you're not like them. When a white person tells you that you're not like them, that's not a compliment. It's not a compliment. Don't think it's a compliment. But they will use you against your own if you let them. And too many of us in workplaces, including some of us who are Black American, we desire proximity to whiteness, and that desire allows us to do things that are unconscionably horrible. I can tell you that my very first encounter with a discriminatory hostile work environment was at the hands of a Black American woman. So I'm not just talking to those of you who are immigrants. I'm talking to all of us as Black people and all of us as Black and brown people. But I'm especially talking to those who call themselves people of color and those with immigrant backgrounds, because there's a lot of this happening. I have a lot of potential and clients who are coming out of tech. Black women in tech are catching hell, and they're usually catching hell from immigrant supervisors who are doing the dirty work for their overseers, okay? And I really want us to recognize that this is happening in our communities and be willing to face up to it and agree to do something about it. When you catch yourself thinking that another Black person is problematic and you somehow feel superior to them, you need to stop and ask yourself why and where that is coming from. If somebody is messing up at work, you should pull them to the side and try to help them to do better rather than aligning yourself with your overseers and trying to push them out of their job, right? There are too many who are doing that kind of thing in American workplaces, and it is very destructive, and at the end of the day, it's not going to save you. And it's not going to make them like you better. So at the end of the day, what is the point? Why? Why do it to others that are in the same group as you? And when I say that, I mean we're all ethnic minorities in the United States. And at the end of the day, that is how we are all treated. And while there might be levels to that sucker, white supremacy is white supremacy. And too many of us are doing the work where they don't even have to do it themselves anymore because we're doing it for them. We're allowing ourselves to be used as perpetuators of white supremacy in white corporate workspaces and American workspaces, and we have got to cut that out.
The video of Ashley Gonzalez has exposed a lot. Actually, for me, I thought that Latinos are Black people's ally. That is what I thought before. I thought they are Black Americans' ally. But I went through the comment sections of posts talking about Ashley Gonzalez's scandal, and I was shocked by some of the things I saw. I was reading the comments and I couldn't believe it. Some of these Latinos were saying how they see no problem in what she said. Some of them were even saying how they are always using N-word and they see no problem with it. But do these Latinos really understand who their ally is supposed to be? Because from what I've seen, there are times people try so hard to be accepted in certain spaces, even when those spaces don't fully accept them. You heard that white woman at the beginning. She said it clearly. She said they will never fully accept you. It's her words, not my words. And I hope Latinos have heard her. So why are Latinos putting so much effort into trying to fit into the space where they are not fully welcomed? Why are they trying to be something they are not? I've been hearing it from Black Americans saying that not everyone stands with them, especially these other people of color. And I thought maybe it's just a few of them. But after reading these comments, I have understood what Black Americans were trying to mean. These people don't really stand with Black Americans. I've seen it. You even see some patterns at the workplace, at the social events, where some of these Latinos are doing their best to align with white folk instead of getting closer to their Black American brothers and sisters. And what is sad is that it's not even one group that is doing it. We have seen it among the melanated immigrants in America. They're doing the same thing. All of these people are doing so much, trying to get closer to those other people, thinking that they will be accepted. And while doing that, they are distancing themselves from Black Americans, the same people who should be their ally. If these Latinos knew the history, they would know who have supported them in the past and understand who should be their ally. Latinos, proximity to whiteness will never save you. You have seen what we've done during election when you made the wrong political choice. Overwhelming numbers of Latinos went behind Donald Trump, supporting his policies that are against their interests. That is the proof of how some of these Latinos are doing their best to be proximal to whiteness. Why are you hating your own people? Why are you going against the same people who supported you in the past? Why are you putting too much effort into disliking black folk? I don't really understand how some of these Latinos are out there saying that they don't see any problem in what Ashley Gonzalez said. This is reflecting what is inside their mind. This is reflecting how they view black people. Some of them are out there pretending to be Black Americans' ally. What have Black Americans done for you to have this internal hatred toward them? I really want to hear from Latinos because I don't really understand why they have chosen to stand where they stand. I've never seen any white person out there speaking for your Latinos, but I've seen many black folks speaking for you, advocating for you, speaking against the deportation of your people, speaking against the deportations of your people, and you don't even recognize this? Come on, you got to do better. And then you're out there asking why Black Americans are trying to delineate from your... See what is happening. If you are a human being, would you like to be associated with somebody like Ashley Gonzalez? And we know that there are many others like her. These Black Americans are choosing their peace. They're choosing their own security. They're trying to stay away from those other people who might hurt them. Because from what she said, it seems like she's got this internal hatred toward black folks. And then they are choosing to delineate from y'all. If their support is not being returned, their experiences are not being respected, they are choosing to protect their peace. And I see no problem with that. Because if you remember at the beginning, Black Americans were the one who were calling for black and brown unity. I've seen many posts of these Black American brothers and sisters calling for black and brown unity. They have put too much effort, but they have seen that you guys are not reciprocating their effort. And they have chosen to be on their own, protect their peace, protect their sanity. Latinos, is that really what you want? And your Latinos are out there waiting for whiteness to accept you? You will never be accepted. The woman said it clearly. They will never accept you. They will play you. They will use you for their benefits. They will act as if you are accepted. But one moment, one incident, you guys will realize that you will never be accepted. That said, how many of you guys are out there speaking these racist slurs in your family? So Latinos, if you want changes, here's what you're gonna do. First of all, start calling out all of those family members who are anti-black. Tell them that what they're doing is wrong. Start responding to all of those posts on social medias that are anti-black. Teach your parents history. Call out your parents, your siblings, all of those people around you who are anti-black. That is when you will realize that you have started becoming black people's ally. I've realized that people might be out there pretending to like you, pretending to be your ally, while deep down their hearts, they don't like you. Realize that you might be working with people at the workplace. They are always acting friendly. Deep down their hearts, they dislike you. I've seen that people out there are serving to the public, but they have this internal hatred toward one single group. And probably even themselves, they don't know the source of that hate. Why are folks out there hating on black people? What did black people do? Because I really want to understand what is running through the minds of these people who are claiming not to like black folks. When did that start? What experience did they have for them to start disliking black folks? Maybe I will see some comments from some of those people, those Latinos, telling me why, because I don't really understand why. It keeps hurting me to see people out there confidently recording themselves saying that they don't like black people. If you are being honest, black folks are very kind. So what is the reason people out there are hating on them? They are very kind. I think there's not any person who is as kind as black. I've been hearing stories from some of my black American friends telling me how they are sometimes walking on the street, another person from another race, and they directly tell them into their face that they don't like them. They have done nothing wrong. They've never spoken to them. They've never seen them before. And they come directly to them and tell them that they don't like them. Why is that? When did that start? And it's not only happening in America, it's happening everywhere. In Europe, you go there with dark skin color, you're directly associated with bad things. Don't know you. They think you are a bad person. I want people to educate me about the origin of this hate toward melanated people, because it doesn't make sense. Probably you've also had your own experience with those other people. You can share your own experience down there in the comment section. If you ever encountered one person where he was showing you hate, where he or she was hating on you, while you've done nothing wrong. That was it for today. I want you to tell me down there in the comment section what you think about this video, what that white woman said. Is she right or she's not? Let's have a conversation down there in the comment section.